Welcome, 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 welcome to the Mind Fuck Podcast. Yay! Welcome, 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 my friend. Thank you so much for taking time out to hang out with me. It means the world to me. Welcome. My name is Wonu Alishe, and sometimes I do go by Amazing Soul. Welcome to the My Fuck podcast. Before I go into today's episode, I always do something right before the show where I read a list which I titled Reminders to Being Human. It serves as a reminder to me, and hopefully, it should serve as a reminder to you. Reminders to being human. Have fun along the journey. Show yourself compassion. Be kind to others. Being complex and being simple can hold true in the same breath. Stay curious. Hold space for pauses. Hold space for not knowing. Never underestimate the power of silence. Nature has a lot of wisdom. Pay attention. There is power in we than I. If nothing else makes sense, come back to love. Pain is our greatest teacher. And the very last one, never underestimate your ripple of existence. Alrighty, let's get into today's episode. Okay, so I want to start with a question that I hear a lot, and it's one I've asked myself more times than I can count. Why am I so tired all the time? And it's not just physically tired, but like really tired. I mean, that kind where even simple things will feel heavy, the kind where motivation disappears, that kind of tired where rest doesn't seem to work the way it's supposed to be. And usually, when we ask ourselves that question, I've seen there's a quieter accusation underneath it. Things like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just get it together? Or why does everyone else seem to have more energy than I do? You see, my friend, for a long time, I believed the answer was laziness or lack of discipline or even lack of willpower. I genuinely thought something was broken in me. So today, I want to talk about what I eventually realized instead. Most of my energy wasn't missing. It was being leaked. Leaked quietly, consistently, in ways no one ever taught me to notice. And if you've ever felt chronically tired while still doing everything right, then probably this episode is for you. You see, we live in a culture that treats energy like a moral trait. If you have a lot of it, you're disciplined, you're motivated, you're high performing. And if you don't, something must be wrong. Hmm. And the thing is, I bought into that story for so many years, especially coming from the military where pushing through exhaustion was normalized, praised, and always expected. You don't ask if you have energy, you perform regardless of how your body feels. So when I transitioned out of that environment and my body didn't magically bounce back, I actually judged myself a lot, pretty hard. You know, I told myself I was lazy for needing naps. I was weak for feeling overwhelmed. I was undisciplined for struggling to focus. You see, what I did not understand yet was this, and I'll share with you, my friend. My nervous system had been running on survival mode for years. And you see, survival mode doesn't restore energy. No, no, no. It borrows it with interest. There, there was a period after I just left the army where my life looked, you would say, quiet. For me, there was no like early formations like I used to have in the military, no constant urgency, no external pressure telling me what to do next. So from the outside, it looked like rest. But inside my body, this was back in 2022, I felt exhausted. I mean, I would wake up tired and simple tasks felt overwhelming. My body felt heavy, even on days where I had not done too much. And the most confusing part of all this is I kept telling myself, but I'm not doing anything, right? So why do I feel like I was running a marathon internally? That's when I started to notice something very important. You see, my body wasn't resting just because my calendar was empty. No, my nervous system was still scanning, it was still bracing, still anticipating danger, even in silence. And here's what shifted everything for me: energy doesn't only get spent on action, it gets spent on internal processes. And most of us are leaking energy in places we don't even recognize as work. Let me name a few examples. Like self monitoring, like constantly checking yourself. And the thoughts that go on in your mind are, how am I coming across? Am I doing enough? Should I be further along? Did I say the wrong thing? That quiet internal surveillance system, it's exhausting. And me personally, I didn't realize how much energy I was spending just watching myself. Another example: emotional suppression. Holding emotion down takes a lot of energy. Not feeling sadness, not expressing your anger safely, not allowing grief to surface, not letting yourself fully feel joy either because it feels unsafe. You see, I personally spent years being functional while emotionally braced. And the truth is, that wasn't strength, that was containment. And containment drains energy fast. Another example: unfinished stress cycles, stress that never completes. You see, your body prepares for action, but never gets resolution. Like no shaking, no release, no safety signal afterwards. So the stress just stays in your body, living in your muscles, your breath, your digestion, even your sleep. You're stressed. And me personally, on my journey, I didn't realize how much energy was stuck in this unfinished loops. Another example: internal pressure, that voice that says, you should be better by now, you should be over this, you should want more, or you should be doing more. That voice doesn't motivate you. Not at all, my friend. It actually drains your energy. But most of us are not even aware that's what's happening. You see, for me, sleep was one of the biggest mirrors for me. So for so many years, I struggled to sleep, especially after I transitioned from the military in 2022. I would wake up in the middle of the night and immediately judge myself. I would say things like, oh, this is bad, or my tomorrow is ruined, or what is wrong with me? And every time I did that, my nervous system heard danger. So my body stayed awake. What change wasn't forcing sleep. It wasn't forcing myself to sleep. No, it was actually removing the pressure I was putting on myself. So I stopped treating my wakefulness as a failure. I stopped making sleep a performance metric. I started offering safety instead of judgment. That's what changed. And slowly, very slowly, my friend, my energy began to return. Not because I tried harder, no, 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 but because I stopped leaking it through self attack. Do you see the difference? Now, here's something I wish more people understood on this journey. Your body is not trying to sabotage you. No, it's trying to survive and adapt. If your energy is low, it's often because your system prioritizing something else in the moment. Things like processing old stress, repairing tissue, regulating threat, relearning safety, conserving resources. Low energy is not always a problem. No, no, no. Sometimes it's a nervous system strategy, right? When I stopped asking myself, how do I get more energy? And I started asking, what is my body working on right now? You see, everything started to soften because there was no judgment. So the pressure was off. You see, we often only count visible output as effort, you know, like work, daily tasks, our achievement. But I think on my journey, I've seen healing is work, regulation is work, unlearning survival patterns is hell of work. It doesn't just look impressive on the outside. Some of the most exhausted seasons of my life were also the quietest. And that doesn't mean I was failing personally. It means my energy was being used internally. That's the difference, right? I don't want to end this episode with advice or hacks. No, I want to offer you better questions, right? If you're feeling depleted, try asking yourself this couple of questions. Where am I holding tension without realizing it? What emotions am I managing instead of feeling? Where am I judging myself unnecessarily? And what does safety look like for my body today, not my mind? You see, my friend, energy doesn't come back through force. No, it comes back through permission. And if you take one thing from this episode, let it be this. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're not failing at life. Your energy is not gone. It's doing something. And when you learn to listen instead of push, to soften instead of demand, energy returns in its own time. Not all at once, not dramatically, but steadily, honestly, and sustainably, right? I know it can be hard when you have low energy days. I know it can be challenging because you mentally want to do stuff, but your body keeps saying no. Patience, my friend, on this journey. It's a very slow internal journey. Patience, 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 compassion, and kindness to yourself will go a very, very, very long way on this journey, my friend. I do appreciate you for listening to me today. I do appreciate you for taking time out to hang out with me. And from my heart to yours, I am sending you so much love. Thank you.